dum-dum, diddle-dum-dum, diddle-dum-dum, diddle-dum-dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked.
From the end of World War II to the early 1990s, the Cold War raged on throughout the United States. Although the intensity waned towards the end of the war, the hysteria was truly real. This resulted in many precautions being created to ensure the safety of not only Massachusetts, but the entire country.
Remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover.
NEMA's official website states that due to the Cold War's climate of the early 1960s, President Kennedy planned to have a secure facility built in each state to ensure continuity of state government following a nuclear attack. This is why the NEMA Bunker was built.
My name is Chris Bessie. I'm the spokesperson for the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. So the NEMA Bunker here in Framingham was built in the height of the Cold War. And the idea when they built the bunker was that they wanted to have a facility in each state for the governor and the governor's key officials to be able to carry on the functions of government if there was a nuclear attack on the state. So the building was built far enough outside Boston that if something happened in Boston, that this was far enough away in an underground facility that the governor and his key officials could come here and essentially run government underground for as long as necessary while there was bad stuff going on up above. They'd be able to keep government going here. So in terms of preparations in the bunker, we still maintain enough supplies and provisions that we can be self-sufficient for a few days here. Not only the basics of food and water, but medical supplies, cooking facility. The original plans for the building had a radio broadcast room that they'd be able to broadcast to radio station announcements from. It had a chapel in the plans. It had decontamination showers. They really did a lot of planning back then in different facilities and components in that building. Now we still have enough food and water and supplies that we can be self-sufficient for a couple days, but the reality of the threat has sort of changed over the years. So now it might be that it's a significant storm or some reason that we can't get out for a few days, but it's really not that same risk that we had during the height of the Cold War.
During the Cold War, the threat of a bomb strike of any sort was very real. In response to this threat, the United States government ditched their outdated anti-aircraft guns and devised the Nike missile bases, which helped make citizens feel protected in the wake of the Cold War.
My name is Bill, last name is Silva. I was born and brought up on Cape Cod in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The Nike system itself grew out of the Army Air Defense Command, which is basically anti-aircraft guns that were spread around the major metropolitan areas to shoot down bombers, almost circa the Second World War mentality. And after the threats developed, the Russians developed high-altitude, long-range strategic bombers. We knew that that was not going to be sufficient as a country, and developed to the first operational missile being, I think, deployed around the early 50s, 54 time frame with the Nike Ajax system, which was a dual stage, liquid fuel first stage, solid fuel second stage rocket that had a range of about 25 miles. And they put a bunch of these all over the place. There were many more Nike Ajax sites than there were Nike Hercules. So the main role of the Nike bases was to essentially deter, but in the event of attack, to defend major metropolitan areas, and our base was responsible for what we call the Providence-Boston defense. When they talk about the Department of Defense, there is nothing that rings home truer than I'm sitting in Bristol, Rhode Island, and these missiles are capable of ranges of 75, 80 miles. I was literally protecting my family, my hometown, New Bedford, all my friends and family from nuclear attack by Russians. It was me and about 20 other guys that were at the base responsible for that. So we saw there was a very high level of commitment. The Army was brilliant in taking local guys and putting them on those bases because they were literally protecting their home turf from attack by the Russians.
Although there was never a true attack on the United States, the preparations the U.S. took during this stressful time truly did make citizens feel safe.